Welcome to Amazon Prime Day, July 2025. This goes from July 8th through July 11th and ends at midnight PST on July 11th. In this video, let's focus on some budget to mid-range, upper mid-range phones and some microSD storage. And be sure to check back. I'll be dropping some other categories of Prime Day videos from now until Friday when this ends. These are currently non-affiliate links if I have any listed. I don't care whose link you use if you buy any of these. You can support your favorite creators if they show the same thing. I'm just trying to show you some information, so let's see what we got. We're going to start here with the best phone I think that I've got on the list today, and that is the REDMAGIC 10 Air. This is the 12 RAM and 256 gigs of storage version. The REDMAGIC 10 Air, this comes with a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, and it's paired with an Adreno 750. It's got a 1116 by 2480 screen, a 50 megapixel main camera, and a 20 megapixel front camera. Can do 8K video at 30 frames, 4K video at 60 frames. This comes in right now at $500.65. This is going to be for, again, the lowest storage option, that 12 plus 256, and you can get that in either the the black or the white. I think the white looks pretty cool right there. Now, this is going to be a great phone for gaming, especially if you're into like emulation. Now, if you carry like a lot of ROMs and things like that, you might want to have to increase your storage there depending on the type of Android games you do at the same time, but I think this is still a great introductory price into the REDMAGIC series, especially because the Air only came out very recently, sometime within the last 30 days, I think. So good phone to take a look at. Let's move on. Now we got the Google Pixel 9. This is the unlocked version. This is the base model at 128 gigs. I don't know if this is always going to be the best price you're going to see this phone, coming in at $549. Sometimes Google has their own specials that they run through the year, but you can get this one in several different colors here to choose from. Now this has the Google Tensor G4, which is paired with a Mali G715 MC7 GPU. That's going to be kind of similar between like a Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 and a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, similar to like a Dimensity 8200, 8300 series. Now this phone has a 1080 by 2424 screen. It has two main cameras, a 50 and a 48 megapixel. The front selfie camera is going to be a 10.5 megapixel, and it can do 4K video at 60 frames. Now remember, with Pixel phones, just because the front camera might only come in at like 10.5 megapixels, because of their algorithm, if you've never owned a Pixel phone before, it's really good at being able to alter those photos and upscale them and make them look pretty good in comparison to other phones that would be like in the same series. Now the next phone I got logged down here is the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE edition. This is 128 gigs. This is going to be the base model here. Now this has the Exynos 2400E. It's a downclocked version of the 2400 CPU. This comes with the GPU, the Eclipse 940. Now the GPU on this one is a kind of a step down below a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 if you're trying to figure that out. But because it is the S24 series, you do get 7 years of Android updates, which I think is pretty good. So you might want to check this out, coming out at $469.99. And you've got several different colors to choose from. You got blue, you got graphite, gray, and mint. Would be really good for like a mid-range phone that still gives you some of those higher end capabilities, especially if you're into things like emulation and some higher end Android gaming. Our next Prime Day deal phone here, whereas we go down the price range, is the Samsung Galaxy A36 5G A series. Now this one here is 128 gigs of storage. You've got an AMOLED display. It's 1080 by 2340. Has a Snapdragon 6 Gen 3, so a little bit older of a processor, but still not too bad. That one is paired with an Adreno 710, so you're going to get some decent gaming out of that, kind of depending on what you want to do. This is coming in at $299.99, and it looks like they might give you a couple different colors here. Looks like they're out of the lavender, so you're stuck with black. Still not a bad deal. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Now this one's more of an honorable mention. This is the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G, the 2024 version. This one's unlocked, but it is 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. Price coming in at $249.99. This is only for the caramel latte color though, which I don't know, is pretty neat. Some people really like Motorola. I used to have 2 different Motorola phones in the past. This was back when you were able to like customize and pick the particular like the case and everything and the button colors. It was kind of neat. But anyways, this has a 1080 by 2400 screen, has a Snapdragon 6 Gen 1, just like the previous phone I mentioned, also paired with an Adreno 710. Might be a neat budget phone for you to pick up. The only bad thing with Motorola though is they tend to only give you 2 years of software updates. I know there's been like some push to try and increase that to at least 3, and I think Motorola maybe has talked about increasing that to 3. That would be great, but as of right now I think you're still stuck with 2 years of updates. But in terms of budget phones, this might be one you want to take a look at. Now the last budget phone I have on the list, this is the Samsung Galaxy A16 5G A series. Now this one here is for the super budget conscious, coming in at $142.49. This one here has a MediaTek Dimensity 6300 that's paired with a Mali G57 MC2. So that's going to be similar to some of the older emulation handhelds if you're into emulation gaming. So some of the emulation handhelds I would say about 2-3 years ago, and the G57 MC2, I think that is the same GPU series that is probably in the 2023 version of the Fire HD10 tablet. You might want to fact check me on that one, but I'm sure it's pretty similar. Anyways, it's a pretty decent price, if you're really budget conscious and you don't have a whole lot of money to spend. That's the price going on this one. Now you are stuck, I think, with only 4 gigs of RAM, unfortunately. 4 gigs of RAM, 120 gigs of storage. So again, you might be a little bit handicapped there, but if you need something, your phone is super old and busted, might want to take a look at this deal. Let's move on over to the microSD cards. We've got the Samsung Pro Plus Sonic the Hedgehog edition here, has an adapter as well. This is a 1 terabyte edition. This is an XDXC. Now all these cards I'm going to show you here, they should all be U3 and Class 10. I won't show you any U1 or anything like that. They should have some compatibility with Nintendo Switch and Steam Deck, things like GoPro, DJI, pretty much most of your stuff here. You might want to check this one out here. The Prime Day deal is coming in at $69.99 for the 1 terabyte edition. Now we got the Samsung Evo Select microSD cards. These are the 128 gig version, or at least the one I'm going to show you here to start off with. Now these are like some of my favorite microSD cards. These again are going to be U3 and Class 10. So the 128 gig is going to be coming in at $12.99. You got a couple of different options here. You've got the 256 that should be going for $22.99, and you got the 512 going for $34.99. Now the 1 terabyte is $74.99, but I think we've got some better 1 terabyte deals here that we're going to take a look at. So if we switch on over here, we've got the TEAMGROUP GO card. This is a 1 terabyte here, and this one's coming in at a Prime Day of $58.99. Actually, I should clarify that I think some of these deals here, they'll tell you that it's the lowest price, and they might just be like a sale as opposed to an actual official Prime Day price, but they are putting them on sale, but they're just not calling them Prime Day. So I think it's the same thing, but I'm not sure. Anyways, $58.99 for the TEAMGROUP Go. And then our last set here, we got the PNY. We've got two 128 gigs, again Class 10 U3s. You can get these for $15.99 for 2 of the 128 gigs. Not a bad deal. Everybody has opinions on SD cards. Some people, they might hate PNY, they might love them. They might never want to go with SanDisk again. They totally love Samsung. I think it just depends sometimes on the batch that you get, but we've got some good ones in here going on. You should have some pretty good compatibility with most of these brands that I show you. So that's going to wrap up this particular video here. I'm going to do some others. I'm going to show you some other categories of these Prime deals going on from now until Friday, so be sure to check back. This has been Blue Screen of Tech, and I'll see you in the next video.